Dearly beloved, I bring you greetings from the Inside Studios, and you are watching the Virtuous Woman's program. This is your host, Susie Osikenin Georges. You know, on this program, we discuss anything surrounding issues of women. You know, there is nothing that can be done without women around, and so there are a whole lot of things that need to be put in place when it comes to women. The world, we can say, cannot do without us because we are everywhere. We are part of everything that happens. This is your first time watching us. I bring you greetings and you are welcome to join this family. I believe that you being part of this family, your life will never be the same because here we learn to better our lives. Today we want to continue with our series on parenting. We have done some few topics about that, and today we want to continue. And you know, vacations are over. Schools have reopened. Parents have made lots of preparations towards this reopening of schools. Parents have bought bags, books, textbooks, exercise books, stationeries. Some have gone so far to prepare even their words beautifully with their hair made and everything. But one question that we need to ask ourselves as parents is whether that is all we need to prepare. What about that child who is going to school? How ready is the child going to school? How ready is their little mind to face what is ahead of them? I believe many parents might have thought about that too. But there is a bit of things that we are lacking as parents. And today, my guests, they are teachers, they are on the field, they are here to help us. That as parents, what are we supposed to look out for? We miss it sometimes. Parents expect teachers to do something. Teachers also expect parents to do something. Today we will have a better understanding. Help me welcome my beautiful ladies who are joining me to give us great insight on this discussion. I have with me Lady Deborah Decker, now known as Pastor Decker. Yes. Lady Decker, you are very much welcome to the Inside Studios.
Thank you
yes, you are welcome. And then we have our Lady Ernestina Kujo Mensah, Mrs. Dakwa. I won't forget that one. I won't forget that one. Ladies, you are very much welcome.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
It is a privilege to have you grace today's discussion with your ministry, because we know we are all going to learn. Before we go on, there is a video we want to play. I want to show the teachers we have in the studio, or we have joining us from the comfort of their homes, what we parents are feeling now. I want you to see the video of the excitement that we have as parents to send our kids to school. And so as you watch the video, if you are a mom, you are a guardian, you are a parent there, tell us how you feel by commenting on the comment section. How do you also feel? How prepared are you? Let us know. If the video is ready, we will go through to it and watch and see what it has for us.
Hello, mommy. Hello, daddy. Do you know how I'm feeling right now? I'm feeling so happy. Happy inside my body. And do you know why? Because holiday is over. Holiday is over. Children back to school. Hey, like I'm so happy. I'm not going to be hearing things like,
Mommy, can I do this? Mommy, can I do that? Mommy, they said that we should bring. Mommy, I want to on. Mommy, can I do? Mommy,
excuse me, child of mine. It's time to go to your own office. Just like mommy is going to her own office. And I'm sure moms and dads out there are happy too that holidays are over. Hello, mommy. Hello, daddy. Do you know how I'm feeling right now? I'm feeling so happy. Happy inside my body. And do you know why? Because holiday is over. Holiday is over. Children back to school. Hey! Hey, like I'm so happy. I'm not going to be hearing things like,
Mommy, can I do this? Mommy, can I do that? Mommy, they said that we should bring. Mommy, I want to on. Mommy, can I do? Mommy,
excuse me, child of mine, it's time to go to your own office. Just like mommy is going to her own office. And I'm sure moms and dads out there are happy too that holidays are over. Hello, mommy. Hello, daddy. Do you know how I'm feeling right now? I'm feeling so happy. Happy inside my body. And do you know why? Because holiday is over. Holiday is over. Children back to school. Hey, like I'm so happy. I'm not going to be hearing things like,
Mommy, can I do this?
Okay, you have all seen the video how parents are very much excited to send their wards to school. But the very question is, should we really be happy? Should we be happy going to just drop them and come home because we want to be free? Should parents be happy about their kids going to school? So today we want to understand what is the role of the parent, the role of the teacher, all boxed into a positive parenting. Yes. And so I will give it to my ladies. They will first have to introduce themselves and tell us a bit about themselves and why they chose to go into that field of career, and then maybe what age or what classes they are teaching. Ladies, over to you.
All right. Thank you very much once again for having us here.
You are very much welcome.
As you said initially, my name is Deborah Jindeka. I currently teach English. I teach at the age group between 3 and 12. And I've actually always had a passion for children and teaching on the side. And as I was growing, actually, I would say I drifted apart. But then as time went on, I came back into the teaching field and specifically children. So yes, I teach adults as well. But when it comes to children, I'm really passionate about it. If you say how I got into it, I would say it's something that has always been there. So if we can just connect it, as we're talking about parenting and then children. If you observe your child carefully, right from childhood, there are traits and things that you see about your child. When I decided, or when I actually entered into the field of teaching, my dad would say he was not surprised because, for instance, in church, each time a parent will come with their kid, first thing I do, I rush, I pick the kid, I will stay with the kid throughout the whole service, and I just loved it. Like sometimes I would looking forward to go to church was not even about any other thing that will happen, but for me, going to see children and being able to play with them and stay with them. So yeah, so just to chip in that even if you observe our kids right from when they are little, you can see some of the areas that God has called them to be at. So I'll pass the word to you.
Okay. Lady Tina.
Thank you. My name is Ernestina, popularly known as Tina. I'm a teacher. I teach, I handle the preschool, so between 3 and 6 years, these are the students that I handle. In the past years, I have taught various ages, but at the moment, I am with the preschoolers. Let's say from when I was a child, teenage, that area, that was when I realized I had something special for kids. I like to pour out to the people around me, and growing, I got to realize that this is actually where God has called me. So even at church, I handle the kids there, and then the youth ministry. That's what I actually do. And then as I journeyed along, the Lord gave me opportunities to teach, and then I took it. I now understood this is where God is calling, not just as being a ministry, but that is also where I have to work. So gradually, I found myself there. And anything you do with passion, you don't really feel it. So that's how I ended up becoming a teacher.
Wow. The teachers are already dropping the nuggets. You remember what Lady Debbie said, whilst growing up, she had all those traits. So, and the most important thing here is parents were able to see that this was her area. So as parents, one of our duties, we are putting it down. we are going to remember it to see our child and see where they are doing better, so that we can direct them straight to their purpose than whining a lot of subjects and programs and courses and missing it at the end. Parents, let's take note of that. So then I will let before we go to what the role of the parents and the teachers are. If I am supposed to pick a school for my child, what are some of the do I really have a choice in choosing a school? Because let's say right from Africa or Ghana, where we are coming from, you can choose any school you want. You can choose, you'll be living in Abeka, where I am, and then choose to take your child to school at Adenta, because that is your choice of school. So if I'm supposed to pick my child to school or to register my child to a school, do I really have a choice? What can you say about that, ladies?
Well, when it comes to choosing a school, first of all, you have to also look at the age that the child is. So when it is just a preschool, then you have to decide whether you want here in Italy, either you go into a private school or you go to the public school. So that depends on you. I wouldn't want to say much on that because it depends on your packet, your convenience, what
Okay.
you think are the things you want to get from each of these schools. So when you value it and you see that this is the one you want, then you go to that school.
Okay.
Some also would prefer a school that is close by because they want to drop the child off quickly and then go do something. But all of that being said, I think one other thing that parents or guardians should look out for, or the first step they should take when it comes to choosing a school, I would say they should pray. Just pray. Let prayer be the main thing and let God direct you as to the school, because even in your vicinity you might have about 2 or 3 schools. As to which one is good, someone will say this is good. If you listen to what people will say, yes, you might make the decision, but I believe when we channel it through prayer, we make the right decisions and then we get to know which one will be best, because the things we see well has the roots spiritually. So first, go do it spiritually, get it there, pray, and then decide on which school by the help of the Holy Spirit and take your child there. Just don't look at it from the natural perspective. Take it spiritually and pray and get that one. So there's not a specific, I wouldn't say specific thing to look at, but when it comes to choosing a school, apart from the fact that you have the option to go to either a private school or a public school. But then when it comes to the higher level, now we're talking in terms of school, so I want to take it up. So if it is the secondary school, then you would have to, like Debbie said, by the help of God, get to know the things, the qualities, the things that are already showing forth in the child. So if I already know that my child loves this and that, I prayerfully channel the child. So if I know the strength of the child is in sciences and mathematics, then I know I have to go to maybe a science-based school. If I know the child is good with all of those things, that's why I said prayer first. You're able to know some of the qualities, the capabilities of the child. So you just don't go and enroll the child because you think, okay, now maybe this is what is trending in Italy. You get a job in this field, so let me push the child there. If that's not what God is saying, or if that's not what the strength of the child is demonstrating, you are going to frustrate the child. So these are some of the things we also have to look at, but that would be in the upper level. When it comes to just the preschool, then these are the things I said earlier on. I don't know if Debbie would like to add something to it.
I think also when we connect it to basic, back to foundations in prayer, God can also direct you on sections. Like when you go to school, it depends on the school, and the levels. But sometimes, you have class A, class B, class C, and all that. Sometimes like for instance, when I was going to high school, I remember the first day I went for the open day, one of the people that were showing me out for the school told me, oh, the section A is one of the best. So choose that one. So like even in prayers, God can order our steps for us to stumble in people that can direct us also in the right places to go. So just as she was saying, we start with prayer, and that would direct us also on the kind of school to make, and possibly also the kind of section to be, the kind of class to be, to have teachers that would actually help your children and not demoralize them. And also, when connection to what she was also saying, when it comes to secondary school and all that, as parents, yes, it's good that we have an idea of what our kids have, but we should also trust that what we've taught them, that if we've taught them, that they have a foundation to sort of make a decision on their own. So even if it's the important thing is that the decision they are making is not going to destroy their life. But as far as it's something that's reasonable, you sit with them at the secondary level, they are 14, 15 years more or less. They have the ability to reason, so see their reasoning and help them out also in that area.
Wow. The reason why I was saying that is because to most of us Africans, I can say for those living in Italy, we only think the schools that are near us are the ones that our children need to attend. Or maybe if you have to take it to another school in another vicinity, you will not be accepted because you are not from the same commune. That is why I wanted the mothers to know that you are not forced to take your children to the school that is in your commune, but you can also, if really you want to and you are ready, you can also take them to other schools that you want, all by your choice. Okay, ladies, you can still continue for us.
Okay. So, so in connection to what you're saying about being prayerful, it's important also that I don't know the audience, but I assume that we are Christians. It's I don't know how many parents actually pray for their teachers because you don't know the kind of person that your child is going to meet. I had a situation where I was tutoring a child, and the child had just started first year of primary school. I think it was like 2 months to he had just started primary school, first year, 6-year-old boy, and I was helping the child how to read. And each time he would make a mistake, he would just say, "Oh, I'm stupid. Oh, I'm stupid." It kept on going. It happened once, happened 2 times, and I stopped. And I said, "Why is it that each time you make a mistake, you say I'm stupid?" And he said, "That's what my teacher told me." Like, wow. I mean, we've just started school. 2 months have passed, and you have a teacher saying this. So I was disturbed in a way. And I asked the mother, or I told the mother, "This is what your child is saying. Have you done anything about it?" And she said, "Oh, the child told me, I thought he was joking. I thought he was just saying one of those things." And I said, "No, this is serious." So actually, I told the child, "No, you can make it." So each time you make a mistake, just tell yourself, "I can make it. I can make it." I didn't continue the whole year with the child, but few years down the line, as I spoke with the mother said he's doing all right. So you see, being careful or prayerful also about our teachers, the teachers that are with our kids, can make a difference. Because imagine if I had not stumbled into this child, maybe along the line, after a year, the child will not still be reading. After 2 years, the child will not be reading. And you'll be wondering what happened. And it's because of the word that the teacher told the child. That is what caused the thing. So in connection or in addition to that, I also say parents should be alert, should know what is going on, not just in the child's school, but in the child's class, but in general, what is going on. Just to be aware of what your child is going through, but also trends that are coming up. Are they in line with what you're teaching your child? Are they in line with the principles you're teaching your child? I'll just cite an example here as well. Especially in Italy, since it's a religious country, there is the possibility of choosing or not to do religion as an extra subject. Many parents just take it as, "Oh, they're signing it," and they just, sign it and allow kids to enroll. The thing is, even though it's religion, most of the thing they do is Catholic. They teach about Catholic principles. So you have a child, and maybe you are not even doing your work at home, as in you're not teaching the child so much about what you are doing in your church, and that the only thing they know is what they're learning in school. I had a situation in Sunday school where a child I was asking a question. I was like, "Okay, so how do you pray?" And they said, "Oh, we pray to Mary." And I was silent for a moment, and I'm like, "Ooh." I wonder, like, are the parents having the conversation? If you as a parent, maybe you don't have the time, whatever, don't at least contaminate the little that the Sunday school teachers can be doing. So be careful also, be aware of that. Okay, they are doing religious studies. During that 1 hour, it's possible actually for you to decide that the child would do something else, extra activities, and not follow that religious studies, and the child is to be fine.
Wow. Teachers, we want to quickly go into the role of the parent and the role of the teacher.
Yeah. So just to pick on the video we watched, so I would take it from there. Why are parents happy when kids or when school reopens? Most parents are happy because society and we have made it look like the role of when it comes to education, it is the role of the teacher. So the teacher is the one that is being paid to teach a child. If a child is going to be educationally grounded, it's the work of the teacher. So when school reopens, parents are happy. We are pushing our kids over. Our burdens are rolled over. Teachers are going to carry the burdens from there. That is why most parents are happy. But if we will understand that the work is for the teacher and for the parents, both on a 50-50, then we will get a full 100% child. So let's take it from here. I want you to have the scenario of a cake. We're baking a cake, right? So God has already, we constructing a building. God has already laid the foundation. Now the structures have to be put on. So the structures are there, and that is supposed to be done by the parents. Now the teachers are just going to do the painting, and then if it's a cake, the teachers are going to do decoration. So look at it from this angle. If a child is coming and the base with the foundation which God has already done, the Bible has talked about it, that is done, and the parents have already laid the structure, the job of the teacher is to beautify what has already been done. So if that is not done and the child comes, now the teacher has to do what the parent is supposed to do and what she is supposed to do. And for crying out loud, there are about 26 students in the class. And as many that are parents know that parenting one child is not the same as parenting two children. So if you have two children and then parenting them is a bit of hard work, then you can imagine the teacher that is having 26 students. So it's obvious that she will not have all the time for all the 26 students. So what she will do is she'll pick up on those that are smart, those that can go on with it. If I have a class of 26 people, then I have half of them doing well. I've already achieved my aim. So the rest, they are just adding up to numbers. I wouldn't want to waste so much my time. So if parents get to understand that there is a role of a parent, there is a role of the teacher. Who is a teacher? The teacher is the one that is bringing up or instructing somebody to get the applied results at the end. If that is the definition of a teacher, then the first teacher in everybody's life is their parents. They are to instruct them so that they know the way to go. So before the child is coming to the school, I believe that the parents have done their part, and I am going to add the 50 to it. But if you fail to do your 50 and you think I have to do all the work, I will try my best, but maybe that best wouldn't be so much enough for the child to be the all-round child you have. So let's change the perception that the teachers are there for the education purposes, and let's see that the parents also have a role to play, and then the teachers, it's a 50-50 thing, and then we have that balance. I don't know if Debbie would like to add something.
Yeah, so as she was rightly saying, also let's consider the fact that it's not even just the teacher being wicked, as in, I don't want to help your child, I see him or her being in difficulty. Teachers also have a plan, or they have a goal they have to reach by the end of the year. And most of the time is given by the nation itself. So I have this to achieve, and I need to achieve that. So if I don't, if as she was saying, half of the class have gotten the topic, I'll just continue and go, because I can't delay, and then at the end it will still bounce back on me because I didn't do what I was supposed to do. So if and one other thing I also wanted to add is, if as parents you feel that you don't have the necessary knowledge of, sometimes as we are here in Italy, would say you don't understand the language. You definitely have someone, it might be in your church, it might be in your community, that can help out. Let's also be willing to invest in your children. They are your future. They belong to you. As she was also saying, sometimes being one child or two children is difficult. Talk less about 26 children. So if you're not able to invest into your two children, imagine the teacher as well. But then if maybe you have like someone in your church, you feel that they can be of a help or something, and then at the end you gave them something, maybe when they are young like that, pocket money, at least he has helped you out in your work.
Wow. So you can hear from the teachers. It said it's 50-50. There is something we need to do as parents. Yes. For example, I was reading something they wrote that teachers are not supposed to be the ones to teach our children the basic things in life. Of course, they grow from the house before they go to church. They go to school. So for instance, saying good morning, being polite to the person beside you, and say I'm sorry, and all those things are not the work of the teachers, because they grow from the house. They grow from home. It is from home you teach them to say, may I, thank you very much, I was wrong, you are welcome. It is from home they learn to be punctual, they learn to be honest, they learn not to insult, they learn to respect authority, their teachers, and everyone around us. It is the role of the parent. I believe one of the things that we also need to do as parents, you can add to it as teachers, that we have to um, we have to know from the teachers what particular are the things that a child needs to know at the end of an academic year, because it seems like we don't know anything. We just pick them, we take them to school, we pick them back, but we don't know what they are supposed to know after a whole year, or like in their journey throughout the academic year, what they are supposed to know, so that we can also guide them, see to it that they are also doing what they need to do. What do you have to say about that, teachers?
Okay, so I'm picking it from the preschool. So as I said, we start from 3, and some kids start when they are 3, some will have to be 3 when they come, and by 6, some will be 6 before they leave to the primary school, some will have to would be getting to 6 by the time they, so let's say between 3 and 6. Now there's this thing called psychometry. So psychometry. Let me just put it that way. What it is the measure of the mental abilities of a person, the mental traits and the ability, and it has let's say 4 areas. These are some of the things we look out for before a child goes to class 1. These are the things we look out for in a child. So all the programs we do, all the activities we do with the child is to enhance that. By the time this child is going to class 1, the child is able to do this. So we check the cognitive ability of the child. We check the emotional relation of the child, the social relation of the child, the motor skills, and the speech ability of the child. All of these things are to be checked. Now, when I talk about the cognitive abilities, is the ability of the child to be able to solve a problem. So a child that is at 3 years should be able to, if I give the child a task, listen to the instruction and be able to carry it out. As the child is growing, the things are increasing, but these are some of the things that the child should be able to do. Now, when we talk of motor skills, we have that of the fine motor skills, and then we have the gross. Now, they come by when the motor skills actually is the things that a child is able to do with the muscles, the activities that we are able to do with our muscles. So the fine ones are the ones that involve the small muscles, and then the gross one, as the name comes out, are the ones that we do with our big muscles. The small ones could be just lifting, taking your spoon to feed yourself. If you have watched, when children get to one, they want to tend to eat. Sometimes we prevent them from doing that because as mothers, we know that when a 1 year old wants to eat, they will eat, but majority of the food will be scattered on the floor. So if you're a mother that you don't want to do so much work, what would you do?
You
want
feed
to
yourself.
feed that child to reduce the work that is being done. You have done that, but you have also deprived the child because the child should be able from 1 year, 2, 3 months, should be able to learn how to pick up the food with their spoon to their mouth. They are solving a problem. They are learning how to use that, and it builds on. They will be able to pick when something tiny drops on the floor. They should be able to use their 2 fingers to pick them up. It is something that they are building inside. But if we stop them, sometimes just to make it easy, nobody wants to do too much. So when you check, what you do 1+1, and you see the things are becoming, especially when you have more than one, you just sometimes you stop them. But in an attempt to do that, we prevent these children. So they will get to school when the teachers are expecting to see these things in them, and the child that these kids are failing. A child of 3 should be able to socialize. When I put the child in the midst of other children, the child should be able to play. But for some reason, some children are just a child. So when you have just a child who doesn't know how to relate to cousins and all of that, they go to school and they give a lot of work to their teachers. They don't know how to sit in a circle and do circle time. When you call for anything that is of a group, they are there. Some don't know how to take instructions because as an only child, everything he or she wants, the parents give it to them. So when you are trying to say, sit here at this time, who are you to tell me? For instance, school just reopened it. A child, no. Everything you say, no. She does what she wants to do. Don't go to the bathroom, she goes to the bathroom. The mother came with, she's like, that's what she does at home.
Wow.
She doesn't take any, and I'm like, so you brought a child who doesn't take instruction at home to school, and you expect her to take mine, and she's like, do what you can. I can't do magic. I can do only the little that God allows me to do. Obviously, I'm believing God that as I'm going to affect her positively. But it is your job to do that, and then when you stop, you come, and then I continue. So these 4 things parents should look out to that before a child goes to preschool. The child is able to solve simple problems. The child is able to relate to others socially. The child is emotional. The child that can feel. Speech development. Yes, a 3-year-old might, when you meet those that are just learning one language, they are good, they can converse and all of that. But I realize that when kids are learning more than 2 languages, sometimes it's a bit slow, not because they don't know, but they are processing a lot in their mind. But at least something comes out. When you say something, the child is able to respond. Because when they go, they are going to communicate. So a child who is not able to communicate, how am I going to say something and the child respond? So that should also be checked. And then the motor skills, the cross skills. Sometimes in the house, when they are running about, jumping, we need to allow them. Though they are going to, we just have to be careful that they don't hurt themselves. Because all of these things they do, they're building themselves up. And it's going to help them when they go to the preschool. I think I will leave it here. Nick Debbie has something to.
Wow.
Just to add to I think the last 2 points, she was making about the language. Most of us, well, at least maybe at home, we speak either English or our local languages. And sometimes there are also experts that will tell you, oh, don't speak your language, just speak, Italian, or just speak English, and just, and all those things. And it's not true. You can speak, actually a child could learn up to 7 languages if they are consistently speaking it. They might not speak it, so as you're saying.
But they understand.
But they understand. And as time goes on, if you're also able to, let's say, create an environment where they also see other kids speaking the same language, you see them also developing the speech ability. So don't limit your child to just one language because the experts know. You can teach them your local language, English, Italian, if you even want French and Spanish, and add it to them. And then going beyond the preschool, for instance, in the first year of primary school, most of the times, yes, they teach them how to write and they start reading. But most of the things that they want the children to be able to do is, for instance, listen to a story and be able to say
Produce.
it back. So be able to, even if create a summary. And these are soft skills, I would say, and they are created also at home. So bedtime stories. I tell you bedtime. I read you a bedtime story yesterday. And today I'm like, oh, why don't you tell me the bedtime story, whether the one of yesterday or create your own. And it's little things that as parents, when we learn how to do it, it helps and facilitates the children when they go at school. Because sometimes, even at the last year of primary school, you still find children that find it very difficult to listen to a story and then reproduce it. And this is something that they expect them to know after the first year. So it also comes back to the house. The children that are very good when it comes to story times. They love it. They can tell you the story. And when you trace it back, it's because the parents have been reading. And just to close the whole thing, reading time, it shouldn't be a punishment for your kid. So it shouldn't be, I'm watching, as a parent, I'm watching TV, go and read. So in the mind of the child, it's like, hey, so they are punishing me, and they're enjoying watching TV, I should go and read. But create a time where, oh, let's read together. And either the child is reading to your hearing, or you're reading to the hearing of the child. It's just creating that bond and making the child know that reading is fun. Reading can be fun. There are lots of stories. So it doesn't look like a chore or a burden for your child.
Wow. Very, very important. I am learning. One thing Debbie said right now that really rings a bell in my mind is I was reading from a book, and it was saying that we should be careful of the discipline or punishment we associate with what they do. For instance, just as she said, if you see your child watching television, you don't just say put off and then go and study. In their minds, as she said, it will sound as if you are punishing them, and then each time they have to go and study, then it means studying is a punishment. But it is actually not a punishment. It should be that we explain to them the reason why they are not supposed to be watching the telly, and not a punishment by saying go and read. Otherwise, for your whole lifetime, you will actually grow up having in your mind that going to study is a punishment. Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. To chip into what you're saying, it's also good to create a balance when your children are also learning. So it shouldn't be study 3 hours. I mean, even we as adults, let's be reasonable. Sometimes let's take church as well. When the preaching is going on beyond certain hours, our mind disconnects. So let's be reasonable also towards our children. They can be studying maybe 30 minutes. Then you say, oh, let's go on a break. Or come and have a tea. Or let's go for a walk. Just clear your mind. Then come back to it. And you create a balance where at least they can be focused for that 10, 15, 30 minutes based on their age. Then they know that they can play a little bit and then come back to it. Don't let us be too strict on it.
All that the teachers are saying boils up to the fact that we parents have to spend time with our children.
Exactly.
Not just a lot of time, but I believe even if you don't have time, spend a quality time with your child, because that is what they will remember. Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. The Bible says that we should train up a child the way he should go, which means that there is really a way they should go. Otherwise, if we don't train them to go that way, they will go another way. That will create problem for us. Quality time with our children is very, very important. Wow. A quality time. So parents, if I happen to find difficulties or see that my child is having difficulty in learning, what do I do? What can I do to help? Or what are some of the technologies I can help? Some of the resources I can add or provide for that child for them to be equipped and do well in class?
So I think when it comes to seeing that your child is having difficulty, is to really identify whether the child is just being slow. So maybe if you're comparing him to the class, the child is being slow, but he has all the capabilities to make it. So in that case, as a parent, You're always willing to encourage the child. Oh no, you can make it. Oh no, come on, push harder. I know you can do it. And whether to see if there are really some issues that you need to tackle. And also in that case, like for instance, these days, I believe mostly because of the technology, there are lots of kids who are being labeled as having difficulties with reading and writing, so dyslexic. They are slow when it comes to learning how to read, they are slow in learning how to write. But they are slow, that doesn't mean that they can't do it. And that doesn't mean that they don't have other abilities. Because I was reading a book, for instance, that was saying, imagine if we were in a world where reading and writing was not important. This child would be a normal kid. So as a parent, I shouldn't immediately panic and be like, oh my God, my child is, no. Maybe your firstborn, it took him 2 months. Your secondborn, it might take him 6 months. But just like be with them throughout the process. And if it's possible, or if there is a necessity, also seek the advice of an expert. And so in some cases, having an expert teacher coming home or something for 1 hour just to guide the child is something that you can also do.
So we should also know that our children are not the same, and then we should not treat them equally, but there should be equity. I learned, which means that if one child needs, you don't say, okay, for instance, I give you 20 cedis each for you to do whatever you need to do. But you see, if one child needs a little more, you add up to that child. If they need a little resource or attention or anything, the one who is suffering needs the most of the attention. Wow. Parents, we need to really sit up with this, our job or our ministry as parents. It's a lot. It's a lot. Before we go on, please let me go to Facebook and see our family who are watching and see what they are writing to us. My husband says positive parenting from the teacher's perspective. Yes, they are here to educate us. Actually, Catholicism, it seems most of us, we just say no, or sometimes we say yes to teaching religion, but we don't actually know what they teach over there. Thank you so much for enlightening us that we don't need to allow our children, if that is not our religion, then we don't have to allow them to be taught. Lady Elsie is saying 50-50. Yes, so we have to do 50-50. Mrs. Osikeni is saying invest in my child. Mrs. Tando is saying God bless you, ladies. We have a lot watching. Mama Fowa is watching. Bishop Oscar Mensah is watching. We have our Mama Tando. Okay, Mrs. Osikeni says speech development. That is very, very. So, one thing I want to say about this speech development, as our ladies or our teachers have said, sometimes we see that it is the multiple languages we have in the home that is creating the problem. But I have also seen children who have only one language at home, but they still find it difficult to talk or to express themselves. So to parents, it is not only because some have multiple language, that is why they can't talk, but it might actually be a problem that you need to look into and see what.
I would like to say something in regards to that. You know, we need to communicate with our kids. There's a difference between being there and being involved in the child's life. So, for instance, you have a conversation with the child, come to the level of the child. I don't know if any of us have experienced it. Most often our parents tell us, when we are kids, our parents tell us a lot of things. And some of them we don't get until we are adults. What's the essence of not getting something that you needed at that age? It's only when you grow up and say, hey, Mama,
that was why they were saying that.
So it's like something was missing somewhere. Either the process of the communication was not clearer. And we have realized that most parents, when it comes to dealing with kids, they don't come to the level of the children. They remain at their adults or their parents' level, and they want to communicate to kids that are smaller. it's difficult for them to get it. I was reading a documentary and they cited an example that when the Prince of Wales wants to talk to the child, he squats or come, he is taller and the kids are smaller. So he comes down, not just because he wants to do it, but he wants the child to feel like I'm of the same level with you. Let's talk like friends. When kids meet their friends, they flow. But when it's an adult, they know because there's a difference. If you come to that level of that child and you communicate as a child, I'm not saying be stupid. The Bible says there's foolishness in the heart of the child. I'm not saying be stupid, but let the child feel that they are talking to somebody that is like we are on the same level. Not the shouting. Sometimes we do shout. I'm a mom, I do it too. I'm praying that God helps you. Because I've seen that it's not yielding the any results. But come down to the child and talk in terms that the child will understand. Have a conversation. You are doing something and you are carrying on. So are you seeing this? This is the child is not getting, but you are putting in something, and what you put in is what you get. If you are not putting in anything, then it's obvious that the child goes to school and the child is having speech. It's like the words you speak to the child, that's what the child is saying. That's why if you're hearing, like she said, stupid, stupid, you say you are stupid. But when I'm conversing with you, I'm speaking, I'm giving you words. Your word bank is full of words. So when you meet anybody, I'm pouring out everything that is in you. So we need to come to their level and communicate with them, not just take the telephone, let my telephone occupy you because I'm busy.
Whilst I'm doing my daily chores, it's true.
Have we even realized that we buy toys for our kids and the toys are still there, they want to play with our phones? Because on the phone it looks like it's interaction. But when I say let's play the same toys, I'm sitting with you, that is what we do at school when we are teaching them. The toys are there, we are sitting with them and we are carrying on. This is red, this is going, this is green, and they are involved. But if you still get them the toys and everything, and you are not in it, they will leave the toys and they will come for your phone.
Have you ever seen an African parent sitting on the floor playing with their kids?
We have to learn what is helping us.
That is what they do in school. But when we see them on the up from the floor, sit down, don't sit on the. But that is what they do in school. But we don't do it. We have to sit on the floor like they sit in school and play with them. Listening ear. Phrases, complete phrases with them. We chat with them. Wow, we are learning so much. Thank you so much, ladies. Let me again go to Facebook. Ma Tando is saying, thank you, ladies, for the information. Mothers want to have it easy, not knowing we are preventing them from building themselves. So knowledge is power. Blessings. Thank you so much. Soft skills, bedtime stories. That this one, Mr. Osigeni is right. He is very, very good at that. Sometimes he will fall asleep and then they will say, Daddy, we are still waiting for you. Can you tell us the story? And they will never sleep until they hear their story. And so if Daddy is sleeping, then it means it's all on Mommy. Mommy has to do the story. It's very, very important. It helps them. They remember. That quality time we spend with them is what will stick with them. Not the longer hours. Because longer hours, we are here, they are watching cartoon and we are also somewhere with our phone. They will remember that bad side of us. Wow. Thank you so much. Mrs. Gani is also saying creating balance with our children. Doreen is saying, God bless you ladies for educating us mothers, African parents, quality time with kids. Lord have mercy. Of course, Lord have mercy on us. Martano is saying it's a good guide for them than to force them to do things we want them to do. Mrs. Joyce answer said, God bless you, mother. I don't know why fathers don't help moms do so. Some do, and then if they are not doing, find a way to tell them. They will help you. Let's talk on children's level. It matters what we invest. Of course, I am learning. We are all learning. Mrs. Ansan is saying, God bless you, mothers. Oh, she actually came to repeat this so that I will say it. Fathers, they are pleading with you to help them. Fathers, help. The very little time that you have, you can do your part in doing homework. Let's talk about homework. I have a very big question to ask you, teachers. That is, my son came home. He was having an assignment. They said he should write bedroom setting. So you can see a poltrona, you can see this, you can see cupboard, and you are supposed to put them in their rightful places, whether it is a whether it is a bedroom item, it is a kitchen item, it is. And I said, okay. So now am I going to think in an African setting or an Italian setting or what? Because in an African setting, it is different. Teachers, please. Or one other thing is we are told to write domestic animals. And I said, okay, today, domestic animal is different. You can see a snake in the house, it's a domestic animal. So what should I write as domestic animal? Poltrona. Mommy doesn't have, I don't know, in the bedroom. But it, in an Italian setting, they have it in the bedroom. So which one are we supposed? We find this kind of difficulties. We are supposed to do maths. I have my African way of solving mathematics. Do I confuse my son if I use that? Should I leave it? What should I do? Teachers, today I have you here. You have to help me.
Generally speaking, children don't like to be different. And that's why, for example, when you're talking about languages, most times they find, especially when they start school, they find it difficult. Like for instance, if you're always speaking your local language to your child, before school, they would reply in the local language. When they start school, they normally just automatically speak Italian. So even when it comes to homework and things like that, children don't like to be different. So they would like to be just as they are made. So since it's important that we have our culture, it's important that we still teach them some of the things that we have. You let the child know, okay, I know maybe as you're doing this, for your classmates to be different, but this is how we do it. This is part of your story. This is part of where you come from. So as you're doing it, explain. It's different. It's different because in our home, that is how it is. If you have a little bit of history to attach to it, it makes it almost fascinating. So in the end, something that would have been shameful, so to say, because they would have been different, it almost got, really? Wow! Why is it like that? Why is it so? And then, you're also teaching your child how things are done in your home country. When it comes to mathematics, please, the parents will have to adapt to what the children are learning. If already mathematics in itself can be challenging for kids. So if you now come and insert your own method, it becomes something else. But most of the time, the difference is not that much. So parents can actually adapt, see maybe example they've done in class. Oh, this is how they do this. Okay. Pick it. If you can't as a parent, that's what I was saying. In a community, we have carry your notebook, bring it to a young child. This is what my child is doing. Please explain to me as parents so that I can also help my child. Yeah, that's what I was saying.
Wow, thank you. Domestic animals.
Let me also chip in this. I think parenting should be something that is intentional. We need to be intentional about it. And then we need to be ready to learn. The good teacher is the one that is always ready to learn, because when you have gotten it, you can teach. So if you find yourself in a different environment that is different from where you grew up, it doesn't pay so much to learn about the environment, learn about the things that are going on. At school, the kids that have access to other things are doing well than others, because these kids, they are being exposed to a lot of things. We have our routine, work, church, house, nothing else. These kids, weekends, well, we will not rule out the church aspect because we know it's important for us. But at least when we get the chance, take them to museums, take them to these not only parco divertimento, not only the fun parts, but zoos, take them because they learn from all of these things. For instance, in my school, every weekend when we resume on Monday, we ask the kids how their weekends are second time, and they have to tell us what they did. So imagine if there is an African child who is just school church. What will this child say? The child will practically get nothing to say. So we need to create other rooms for the kids to explore. The more they are going out, the more they are learning. I'm not saying stop church and take your child out. When you have the chance, take them to the zoo, take them here. The community you live in, when they are having some of these events, get in because you want to know these are where the children are going to go. So if you don't have an idea of it, they can even tell you something and then they are gone. But when you know that this is what this is about, it's against our belief, I will not let you go, I've explained to you. But most often we don't do all of these things. We leave it in the hands of society, in the hands of teachers, and then they give the children wrong information. So let's get in. We are in here and we have to know what is happening so we can be able to affect the life of our children.
Wow.
So back to your domestic question, domestic animal question. Well, also in that case, I feel it all depends on what you want to choose. As you said, some people have snake as domestic animal. If you want to put it in, put it. If you don't want to put it, just remove it. They can't, they can't do anything about it. Also, because maybe as you grew up, or in your environment, you've never seen someone having a snake as a domestic animal, so so you should leave it. But then also in connection to what she was saying, is to understand that the generation, like when our parents came, we were the first kids to be here. So there are a lot of things where we found it easier to comply to some of the African way of doing things and somehow still adapt in the society where we live in. But now the kids that are here, they're already a second generation. They feel they are from the country they come from. So if I, as a kid, you ask me where do I come from, and I'm not sure whether to tell you Ghanaian or Italian. If you ask a child now where you come from, he's Italian. So if he's Italian, then we as parents should also have that role, or take it upon ourselves to also understand how things are moving here. So if your child is going, like for instance, carnival, what is it about? If my child wants to go, would I allow them? Won't I allow them? If I'm not allowing them, why? Let me explain. Halloween, same thing. If I won't allow them, because aside we being Africans, we are Christians. So let's know but we should know as parents. If we know, that's why we can also speak with our parents, with our kids. If we don't know, we leave everything to chaos.
Wow. We go to Facebook again. Mr. Stando is saying, Messi, it's of course, we don't know. It's too much work. Parents must be intentional with our children. Parents must be ready to learn. African parents, other rooms to explore. Of course, when it gets to that stage, then Google is in trouble. I just go to Google, go and find an Italian setting. What is a room like? Where is this one supposed to be? So that they will be equal with the students in the class. Otherwise, in an African hall, you find everything. And if they have to go and explain that in school, then you will be in trouble. You might even find yourself the social workers coming to your home to come and see what you have in your home. Wow. Mrs. Sandra is saying parents are number one teachers. So learn so you can teach. Of course, we will learn so that we can teach. We will be wrapping up very soon, but one thing I want the teachers to let us know, how best do you communicate with parents? How best do you communicate? What are the communication? How do I get to you? Or like I'm speaking from a parent's point of view. If my child is in your school and you are finding problem with that child, I remember some of the preschool, when you go and pick them, they are saying, we don't have much time to be explaining all that, to tell you what she ate, what she didn't eat, because the children are many, we cannot have time for everybody. Okay, but I'm a parent, I need to know whether she is eating in school, whether she is coping everything that is taught in school. I know here, before 6 or preschool, 3 to 6, they are not really into writing, it is drawing and everything. But I also have seen very soon she'll be going to class 1. Can I help her in maybe writing something? Should I wait for the teacher? So how do we communicate?
There should be, for every school, I presume, they have times for, at the end of the term, interrogations, parents come in. My school, that's what we do, and I'm believing that is what every other school does. So there's a time, 15 minutes or 20 minutes allotted to every parent. You come in, and then we tell you we ask you first how you saw your child throughout the term, the positive things you tell us, then we also tell you this is how the child has improved, this is what the child needs to, this is what you need to work on. But aside that, during the day, like at the end of the day, when you come straightforward, we tell you today this child has been a problem. He did this, he did that. So some of the parents will pick up, why did you do this? Say sorry to your teacher. We do it at school. I don't know if that's what every other teacher does. But when you ask, maybe if you have the teacher's number, if it's during the school hours that the teacher is busy, if you take the teacher's number, you could write to the teacher or ask something more if you have to ask, because obviously maybe during the school time the teacher is busy, but maybe after work the teacher should be able to answer a call and tell you this and this and this. I don't know if Debbie would like to.
I think when in regards to this, the settings always change when it's a private school or it's a public school. In private settings, parents are paying more. So even if they are asking for more, the teachers, whether they have time or not, they are compliant to do it. When it comes to a public setting, in some cases, children are even more. So it's more difficult for teachers to focus on the child and help them out. So that I think would be the main thing. But then in every school, there is a point in time where you can actually really have the opportunity to ask questions to the teacher. So in those cases, you should intentional. Let's still bring back the word intentional. Intentional are the questions that you want to ask, whether it's 30 minutes in the whole year, whether it's more, but you come and you have questions to ask. When it comes to teaching, as we said, you are the parents are the first teachers. So even if you want to teach your child to write and read at 3 years, you are free to do it. It's your child. Whatever you're doing now, whatever foundation you're laying down, whatever you are building now, you are giving your child a step ahead whenever they start school. So it's never, not because they're not doing it at school, so you can't do it. You can absolutely do it. Read how to read a watch, know that this is the time. You can do everything you want as a parent. You are the first teacher, absolutely, before even the main school come in. You are helping your child. By the time they get to school, wow, this child, oh, this child, oh, this child. Then if you also, teach your child to be empathetic, they can also help other kids who might have difficulties, and they can easily flow because you have taught them at home.
Wow, it means, again, parents, we have a lot to do. I believe we have to help them even do their home, encourage them to do their homework. Where they are finding difficulty, we know. If we can't, we seek help, as the teachers have said. From YouTube, I have Mr. Sikeni writing equity with children. Yes, of course, equity with children. If they need more resources than the other child, more attention, you give to the child who needs it. Frank Chikiete is saying very informative. Thank you, teachers. Ruth Asamwanya said true talk. Parents should be the first to expose themselves to the environment around. Going out to take fresh air helps our children's education. Be ready to explore. Ruth Asamwanya is also saying, to my experience, parents that ask more will get more. Teachers fear parents that assist and ask more questions. So don't be shy. Show your care and involvement. Very, very true. If they see you don't care, they won't also care. But if they see that you are very strict and you always want to know what is going on with your child in the school, they will pay, I believe they will pay much more attention.
Yeah.
Wow. African parents. We are African, so we'll talk for the African parents. Please let's get involved. Don't drop your off your child. Come and pick him or her and bring her home, and that's all. Give her food to eat. The next day the same routine. No. Let's get involved. Let's sit them down. Let's look into their books, what they are lacking, where we can help. If we can't help, we will seek help. Thank you so much, my beautiful ladies. Thank you so much for giving us great insight on what we need to do from the teacher's perspective. Before we go, I would like you two to give us your last words.
So, thank you very much. The last thing I'd like to say is for us, for parents to be best, they need to know that there are stages in every child's life. Every child has stage, and this stage, we are not looking at it in terms of age. Mostly we confuse them with age and we get it wrong. So there's a selfish stage, and you find most of the preschoolers in that stage. That stage, some of the characteristics are they throw tantrums, they don't understand, they don't, it's like they are very selfish. That's why the selfish stage, they want that instant gratification. I want this and I want this now. Now, the reason why we need to know all of these stages is when we know the stages that are involving in a child's life, we know what to give and what not to give. In this selfish stage, because the child is selfish, you don't give the child any control. You take control of that child because control comes with responsibility. And as the child is growing, as you are giving the child, as the child is taking all of these things, the child enters into the second stage, which is the cooperation stage. The child gets the time that they can cooperate with you. When you say sit down, the child understands sit down. The child takes some instruction. Then you have a bit of control. The child has a bit of control. Then it goes to the stage where the child fully understands and the child knows what responsibility is. Now, if you fail to do your work in that first stage, which most parents are failing because they give the children control when they don't need it. If a child who is selfish has control, that is when you say sit down, the child is not sitting. So the child comes to school and the child doesn't know how to take instructions from anybody because at home they gave him all the control which is not supposed to be given in the first stage. The second stage, a bit of control because then the child can reason with you. You can do a 50-50, a win-win thing. So the child can take a bit of control because he knows what that stage contains. Then the third child, that child is, let's say, you can have some of these youth in that state because then they are matured. They know what to do. You don't even ask them to do this because you've done your work well from the selfish state. So then you don't even bother. When you say take out the trash is already up because I know I have to do it. So if we know all of these stages and what to give to our children, we will not give what we are not expected to give as a child who is growing, because if you give the child control when the child is selfish, it's going to be abused, and then the child gets to the stage where you want them to be sensible or do something responsible and they are not able to do it. Because we attach it to age, we expect that a child who is 80 years should act maturely, but it's a state. So if you don't do it well, you find an 18 years old child who is supposed to be responsible, not acting responsible, still in that early stage, which maybe there you gave him or her more control. So let's also learn these things and know that it's about stage and not age. If I give you less control at that age, it's because you are selfish, you don't know much. So when you are growing, as you are growing, I begin to loosen up things, and then we work together. If we do this, we are going to get our children all rounded.
Wow, thank you so much.
I would say final words is, as we've already said it, but let's build ourselves up. Let's take care of ourselves as parents, as teachers, because what we have is what we need. So if we are stressed, that is what we're going to do after our kids. If we are tired, that is how we are going to. So I know it's not easy, especially if you don't have more than one kid and all that, but let's try our best to take time for ourselves. I was speaking with a friend just a few days ago, and I was telling her, you need to take time for yourself. Just even, leave your kids with, the granny or your husband, and just take some time and refreshing, because the more you are tired, any little thing the child does, even if it's dreams, it's normal, but you're frustrated because you're tired, you're human. So let's just take care of ourselves, build ourselves up, knowledge. The more we have, the more we give. What we have is what we give.
Wow, you were right on point with that. Parents, we are too stressed out, and most importantly, I don't know, but for most of us whose children are going to new schools, we are overwhelmed by the new environment, new friends. Would my ward be okay? Will she be able to mingle with other? Will she be playing up? Your eye want to be everywhere. You are stressed, you are anxious. Let me go to Facebook and read our last comments there before I round everything up. Mr. Sikene said there are stages in every child's life. Yes, we have learned it. There are stages. May we identify those stages and then help them when we should. The LC is saying, God help us. We need God's help. We need grace to sail through this, our journey of parenting. So again, it's a selfish stage, cooperation stage, responsibility stage. Yes, we will teach them. It's about stage and not age. Very good one day. Thank you so much, family. As I said, if it's the first time you are watching, this is the Inside Studios. This is a Virtuous Women's program where we talk about anything that concerns women. Thank you so much. Our teachers have made us to understand that we parents, it is our duty to teach our children before they get to school. They teach subjects. They only reinforce what we have already taught at home. So it is our duty to teach them that basic principles in life before they go to school, to make their work easy. I always remember, just as our Lady Debbie said, parents are very, very stressed out. It always comes into mind that illustration we are always given in the airplane, the oxygen mask thing. They always say that we should take care of ourselves before we take care of the children we have or the one who will need help. Because if you don't take care of yourself, you may not be able to help the other person. Wow. Thank you so much. We have learned a lot. We are very much grateful to have you, to have given us so much insight as teachers. I promise I will do my best. I know a mother out there or a guardian out there or a parent out there will say the same thing. We promise we will do our best. We will be intentional about everything that concerns our children. And so, thank you so much. Until we come your way the next time, as we always say, be the best you can be, and God richly bless you. Bye for now.